What you guys, got another video here for you on how to install Android OS on an old PC or laptop. Now if you've got an old PC or laptop and you want to install Android Phoenix OS, then this video is for you. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to need to get yourself a USB flash drive and have an old PC like one of these, what you see on the screen, and you're pretty much good to go. Head over to Phoenix website here where you can download the OS. We're going to be using the standard edition here, and we'll download this and I'll create a bootable USB flash drive and then install that onto our system. So basically this is Phoenix OS 3.0 at the time of making this video, and you can play games and all sorts of good stuff from the Android store from this particular OS. So it's a pretty nice OS to use for that particular type of stuff. So give your laptop or PC a new lease of life and install Phoenix OS on it. So this is the actual operating system. So let's get it downloaded. Now we're going to be using the ISO version. If you want to see a dual boot on this, then let me know in the comments section below and I'll make that video for you. It gives you the option to download the executable file, which we're not going to be using in this video. We're going to be using the ISO file. You can either download it from Google or from Mega. It's entirely up to you which one you choose. I went for the Mega download here and I just downloaded it from there. So around about 800 odd megabytes at the time of making this video. Just hit the download button and it will start to download. So I'm just going to let that download there. Now you will need to also have some other software, and I'm going to use Etcher in this case. You can use whatever you like really to create your bootable USB flash drive. If you want to use Rufus, you can do, but Etcher's pretty easy to use and I'm trying to keep it simple for people to follow along. So whatever you choose to use, just download that software and install it and get it prepared ready for our Phoenix OS ISO. So now we've got our ISO downloaded, it's starting to come down now, and we can then go ahead and create our bootable USB flash drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Etcher here and select my image. All I have to do here is select the image. You can see I've already got my USB flash drive plugged into the computer, and I'm going to select my image. That is now selected. You can see it's already recognized my USB flash drive, so all I need to do now is hit the flash button. How easy is that? So just hit the flash button and it will go ahead and start to prepare that bootable USB flash drive for you. So it's going to start flashing the USB flash drive. It will wipe all the data on that drive, so if you've got any data on there, you need to make sure you back that data up before you continue with this process, because it will be wiped. So let's go ahead and let that flash the drive here, and we'll move on to the next stage once we're done here. So it will probably validate to make sure everything has turned out okay. This is a normal process. This is just to make sure that the ISO went across perfectly fine. So it's going to unmount that. We can now finish off, and now what we can do is boot to our USB flash drive. You will need to change the boot order in your BIOS. To get into your BIOS, you can tap F2 or the del key or delete key, and that will get you into the BIOS. You need to then change the boot order to your USB flash drive. If you're using an old system like this, it will be a BIOS. Just make sure that your USB flash drive is boot priority number 1, and then click F10 to save. On boot up, you will see this screen here, and what we want to do here is click on the installation, install Phoenix OS to the hard disk. Now make sure that you have backed all the data up on that hard disk, because it will be formatted and you will lose all that data. This is not a dual boot. This is basically going to wipe the whole hard disk clean, so you will need to make sure you back that up before you continue. Move down to create modified partitions. Choose that option and click OK. Do you want to use GPT? No, we don't, so click no. Now this is where we need to create our primary partition, so use your arrow keys and click new, and then primary, and then type in here 200 megabytes. So just type 200 and then push enter on the keyboard. Once we've done this, it will say beginning, and then push enter again, because we want to use that at the beginning. Now we want to make that drive bootable, so push enter on bootable, and it should now say flags boot. And now use your arrow keys to navigate down to the free space of that drive. So just use your arrow keys on your keyboard to come down, and we'll select free space. Now use your arrow keys to move over to the new and click enter, and then primary, enter again. And now you can use the rest of this storage space, so push enter again. And now what we want to do is use your arrow keys to go back up to your boot drive and then push right. Enter the key for right on the primary SDA1 drive. Once you do that, type YES and push enter, and this will start to write to that drive. That's exactly what we want to do, so we're going to let that happen. Takes a few seconds, and then we can move on to the next step. Now what we want to do is go to quit, so use your arrow keys to quit and push enter, and now we should see two partitions there, SDA1, SDA2. We want to go to SDA2 and push enter. So on the next screen, what we're going to need to do is choose our file system. We're going to choose ext4. Click OK, and then yes, we want to format the partition to SDA2. Say yes, push enter, and that will start to format. Do you want to install EFI Grub2? Yes, we do. So say yes, and we're going to choose number SDA1 for this and click OK. And then once that's done, we can move on to the next part. So click OK. Do you want to format the boot partition? Yes, we do. So we're going to say yes, and we want to install the boot loader grub. Yes, we do. So that's all done now, and once that's done, it will start to write that to the drive. So let that happen. It takes a few seconds, and we can move on to the next stage. So once this is done, we're pretty much there now. What we can do is we'll get an option to reboot the system. So remove the USB flash drive and reboot, and you will have the system initializing please wait. This does take a bit of time, so be patient. Once this is done, we won't have to do this part again, so we just need to let it initialize the drive. So I'll speed this process up, and then we can move on to the next stage, which is basically setting up our OS, just like you would do for any other OS like Windows 10 or any other version. You'd have to select your language. So you can see we're set to Chinese here, I think. So we're going to select this to US, and we're going to go to next. Click next, and we got the agreement, so just say accept, and then move on to the next stage. You can see I'm connected via Ethernet, so I'm going to leave that as is and click next. And then what we need to do here is create an account. I'm just going to leave this as owner, and there we go. We're at the desktop, and you've now just installed Phoenix OS on your old laptop or old computer. And again, that looks pretty nice there. So you can go ahead and do what you like from here. You can go ahead and install games from the Google Play Store. You can set up your Google Play Store account. You can do whatever you like, just like a normal operating system. You can see there's your drives there, and you've got your folders, and you've got general access to all those. So if you've got a really old laptop and you want to give it a new lease of life and try something different and try Phoenix OS, it's worth a little try. Again, it's a good project to try, and if you don't like it, you can always reformat and install something else. Now your browser may open up as with some Chinese writing here. That's okay. We can change all this. All you need to do here is go into the browser settings. So if I type Google here, you'll see it will come up in Chinese, but don't worry about that. What you need to do here is go up to the three dots and then go into settings here, and you can make changes. So you can select Google here, and once you've selected that, you should be okay, and you should have your browser in English language from there. So it's just a couple of little changes that you have to do, which isn't a big deal. And then when we open the browser up again, we can now log back into our browser and go to Google, and you can see here we're all in English. So that's just done nicely. Now remember, when you go to install anything like this, it's always best to back up your data. If you're using your main system, which is an old system, and you're using your main system, it's always best to back up your data before you start, because this will overwrite your hard drive. and you will lose all your data. So make sure you do that before you play around with these types of projects. Now if you've got an old laptop lying around, or an old Dell Optiplex or something like that, and you want to have a little project to do, then something like this will be ideal, and you've got nothing to worry about. So just make sure that you follow all the criteria so you don't end up losing all your data. Now if you want to dual boot this, then you can do on an older system. It's possible to do. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see me dual boot this, and let me know in the comment section if you want to see this installed on a VM machine or a virtual machine, and I can show you that as well. Also leave your video suggestions in the comments section below. I've been making a few videos the last few days and they haven't done very well, so I'm not too sure whether that's the sort of content that you want to watch or you want to see. So let me know in there if you've been enjoying the content lately, or whether it's just gone a little bit off topic and you want to go back to some of the older style of videos, like how to fix Windows problems and stuff like that, just to give me an idea of what you guys want to see, because obviously I make content so you guys enjoy it, and if you're not enjoying it then I don't want to make it. It's as simple as that. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's going to be how you can set this up. It's very simple and easy to do. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Hope you enjoyed it. I shall see you again for another video real soon. Thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend guys. Bye for now. Now if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the red subscribe button and then hit the bell notification button and click all to be notified when we upload new videos.